Hello, my Tubies and my Teletubbies. It's Sheila Truelove. I am here to talk about. God knows I've been uh, wanting to make this video for the longest. I've just had so much on my plate lately because I have a lot of projects that I'm working on. I have my clients. I have a full time job. I have my family. I have friends. I have, oh my God, such a routine. And I have my hobbies to try to relax my mind. Anyway, the topic of this conversation is, are you with a narcissist or is he just imperfect? And I want you to hear it not just from Sheila True Love's mouth, because a lot of times people tend to feel like, how can you speak for a man when you're not a man? So I always, even though, keep in mind, I was raised with five brothers who showed me what men are all about. I was the only female in the family. So yeah, I do. And I also had my dad to some extent in my
Powering off.
life. And yeah, but anyway, this is R.C. Blake, and he is discussing why women, he no, not why a woman, but why a wise woman, she's always concerned about a man's money. Is she a chicken head? Is she a gold digger? Or what? Or are you just with a narcissistic, broken little baby boy? And without further ado, R.C. Blake, who is like my adopted dad, he's like my father. You know, my dad was a railroad. He worked on the railroad, and then he had his own business. He was opened up his own barbershop. So I did have my father in my life to some extent, you know. And like I said, I did have the influence of men in my life, pretty much, whatever, whether it was good influence or bad. But they definitely showed me a lot of things. And as far as I'm concerned, to be honest with you, truth be told, ladies, it's so much better to stay single. First Corinthians chapter 7 proves my point. Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, I think it is, where it shows how a woman is going to crave for her husband or her man, and all he's going to do is abuse you. All he's going to do is dominate. And dominate is abuse. It's a form of abuse. So the Bible only recommends marriage if you can't control your sex drive, truth be told. But without further ado, there are some marriages that do work. Why? Because they have men out here who are on Jesus Christ and God's team. And that's when he knows that he's not supposed to treat women in a certain manner. As our R.C. Blake, who is a pastor, and my adoptive dad. Anyway, without further ado, just listen in.
Women are, some women are, and I believe that my firm belief as a man is that um, when you are a man, when you are a man, and you find the right woman of the proper caliber, she shouldn't have to dig for it. A real man presents it. Because one of the things that we pride ourselves on as men is being providers. It's fundamental to manhood. And I don't want to get ahead of my discussion tonight, but a woman shouldn't have to dig for it. Now, I think, there are women who are lazy and who don't want to maximize their own abilities or gifts or talents and want to make a living off of cute and sex. And so they pursue men for the purposes of money. And it's no different than prostitution at that point, but they don't call it that. Yeah, gold diggers. But then you have a woman that's of a certain caliber. She's wife caliber. She's maximized her gifts, and now she's contemplating a relationship with a man. Um, she'd be a fool to ignore or overlook financial shortcomings And I'm not saying that a man has to be wealthy. He doesn't, but he has to have a certain kind of drive, and he has to have a certain kind of mindset relative to money. And if he does not have that, if he does not have the desire to provide, and he's comfortable, um, watching you provide, watching you get up and strive, and watching you earn, he's satisfied with that. And all he thinks that the relationship is about is going to dinner and having sex. In my opinion, that's a waste of time. You know, now as a woman, you may be a six-figure earner. You may make $100,000, $200,000 a year. It doesn't necessarily mean that your man has to make that. He doesn't have to. He doesn't. It'd be cool if he did. More money, the better. But he may make 60. You know, um, but as long as he has a work ethic, and as long as he's bringing something to the table other than, other than just an appetite, he has to have fruit and not just potential. And when you look at him, you have to see a man that's proud, and any man that is comfortable not providing is not proud. He's not. And I see guys that are just satisfied with riding on the backs of high earning women, and they're satisfied with being kept. And we have such a masculinized generation of women. You feel like it's cool to keep a dude because you don't realize that you've been masculinized by, all of the various things that robs a woman of her femininity. And so society has, transitioned you into thinking that it's cool for me to earn and him to stay home and me to keep him. But then the problem comes in when dude does not earn, can earn, doesn't even try, doesn't want to earn, you out earning, you breaking your back. You know what I'm saying? You've educated yourself and you're using all of your talents and your abilities and your gifts. Then he come home and he won't throw the Bible in your face talking about submission. No provision. And now you want submission. You've been lounging around all day and he talking about submission. You got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Oh God, yes. Oh my God, I gotta pause it on
You know,
that. Oh my God, I've said that for years. I was trying to, yeah, it instruct a lot of females who I just don't understand. How is it that you can manage to maintain respect for this character? In the beginning, it may be okay because okay, whatever, whatever, whatever. But after a while, the respect is gone. That's gonna go. Okay. Now, there are men out here who can't work because they're disabled. But anytime a man is disabled, he has disability. Like my ex-husband, he used to get disability. $1,200 a month. The only thing I asked him to contribute was $700 a month, and he wanted to argue and bitch and fight about that. So I said, you know what? I could show you better than I could tell you. Threw his behind out there. Let him see how much are you going to pay if you're not living within this household. Rent in itself, the landlady, it was a room. He had a room, ladies, a room. It was 625 when he started. She raised it to 650 because she didn't really like his behavior. He was very disrespectful, didn't respect people's boundaries, and she grew to understand another reason why I had to kick his behind out of here. But now the room in itself was 650. That didn't include food. So you think about food, that's going to cost at least, let's say, what, $50 a week. That's $200 a month. Because you got to think about your food, you got to think about your laundry, you got to think about your other utility things that you need on the side. And Then my husband grew to realize, oh my God, she was right. So he wants to come back home talking about it's cheaper to keep her. Now all of a sudden, me asking you for $700 a month, that didn't seem to be like such a problem. Unfortunately, no. I didn't want him back because he had cheated on me while he was out there. You were still a married man. We were on a timeout. You see, there's a difference between breaking up and being on a timeout. With a timeout, you take the time out to see, what life would be like without your partner. You see, while we were on this time out, I never once stepped out on him or let any man even think about touching me. Don't even think about looking at me wrongly. He cheated. So, no, you can't come back. You understand? He also saw that most of these females out here, he was like, oh my God, these women don't care who they sleep with or who they lay up with. They lay up with any and everything. That's what he experienced. But he was definitely a full blown, not just like narcissistic traits, he was a full blown narcissist. Okay? And he only wanted to come back. You know how narcissists are. They want supply and they want good supply. Honey, I was beyond good supply. I was amazing supply. I don't know if you've listened to my previous videos where I have my exes, it's more than one, and I have recorded the conversations that we've had with them begging, can I come back, Sheila? Oh, Sheila, I'm so sorry. Oh, I didn't mean it. I should have been doing this for you, and I should have been doing that for you, and I'm so sorry. I recorded it, yes. Because a lot of my 2Bs want to know, do these narcissists ever reap what they sow? Do they ever get it back? Yes, they do. And I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to listen to it. I want you to see the evidence of, yes, of these dudes pleading and begging for Sheila True Love. Please, can I take you? Can you take me? I was like, anyway, yo, do they ever reap what they sow? Yes, I promise you. Karma is a very patient lady. She's patient like crazy. At the same time, Karma knows how to hit you at the right time. At the right time. Each and every one of the my exes who had an amazing woman, amazing, just like you are, probably my Tubies and my Teletubbies, you probably awesome, and they blew it. Guess what? Every last one of my exes are on heroin, crack, smoking. They are either on heroin, crack, crystal meth, smoking dope every day. They're jacked up because they can't believe. They be like, how the hell did I F that up? How did I screw that up? I had it made when I had Sheila True Love. I had an amazing family. All of my family are educated. All of my family are Christians. So you know how Christian people are going to treat you? Properly. And they're just like, OMG, how did I screw that up? And now they're out there on crack smoking every day, or every other day. Every time they get money, they're freaking on crack or they're using heroin. So when it comes to, do they ever reap what they sow? Yes, I promise you, check out my videos, my previous ones. God, I wish I had the name of them so I could send you directly to it where you can hear the phone calls, honey. Yeah, they do reap. Anyway, let's get back.
No, I mean, we get that thing. We really do get that thing relative to submission. We get that twisted. You know, the Bible does not, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not in my notes yet. The Bible does not demand a woman to submit to any kind of man. When a woman submits to a man, in fact, about it, the Bible does not even order the woman. The Bible strongly suggests that a woman submit to a certain kind of man. And it is my belief that when the right kind of man shows up in that woman's life, no preacher's going to have to preach submission into her. No teacher's going to have to teach submission into her. Submission will be the natural response of a woman when she meets the right man.
Did you hear what he said? When she reach or meet the right man. Where in the Bible does it say that a woman is supposed to submit to a boy? The Bible does not teach that, you know? And when you look, and let's keep it real these days, ladies, let's keep it real. You got a lot of women who are screwed up, of course. At the same time, the Bible says when much is given to you, much is expected of you. And God have given men the authority. They have the God-given authority to govern over women and children. So if women and children are a mess, you got to go look on a ship. If the ship and the crew is a mess, when the authorities come on that ship or the superiors come on the ship and the ship is a freaking wreck, who are the first people they're going to ask to see? They're going to ask to see the captain of the ship. And the captain of the ship in this world is supposed to be the men. So if the crew, which is the women and the children, are a freaking train wreck, yeah, we're not coming after the crew. No, we're not. No, nope. I don't have nothing to say to you crew people except for go down below and fix yourself some lunch. No, I'm setting up a meeting with the captains. What's up? My question here is, what's up with this ship? It's a mess. If it's a mess, it's because the captains, and men want to say you blame the men all the time. You blame the captains are the ones I'm coming after. Okay?
Called her what? Husband, not a boyfriend. I don't care how long y'all been together. There's nowhere in the Bible where you're supposed to submit to a boyfriend.
Thank you.
You are supposed to submit, get under the mission of a husband. And if dude don't have no provision, it probably means he doesn't have any mission. He doesn't have to be wealthy, but he has to be productive. And so for those of you all, and I'm just making all my little statements now before I get into my notes, for those of you all that's running out here, falling in love with these bums that don't want a job, and I'll say it again, it wasn't a mistake, you heard me right. For those of you all running out here falling in love with these bums who do not want a job, more power to you. Best of luck. You're going to need luck because the blessing ain't on that.
Thank you.
God is not in no situation where you got a grown, rusty man, twice your size, 3 times your strength, that does not want a job, and you out here as a woman hustling to take care of a grown man, having sex, making babies with this dude, and he ain't no man. Men provide. Period. Now that's really I could shut the whole thing down now. That's my message right there. Real men provide. My greatest joy in life as a man is that I take care of my family. I provide for my family.
That's what I was trying to tell my daughter. The girl argued with me, and I don't mean to like bring my personal affairs into this at the same time. I was teaching her that me having this battle in my marriage that I had, she didn't understand. I was telling this girl, no. Anytime a man loves you, he's going to look out. He's going to provide. What do? Men protect, men provide, and men take the spiritual lead. It's just 3 things that we're saying that I'm asking of a dude. I want you to protect, which I'm not a troublemaker and I'm not a drama queen, so you don't have all that much protecting when it comes to Sheila True Love. At the same time, when it comes to provide and when it comes to taking the spiritual lead in this household, yeah, we're all supposed to be at church every Sunday. And if you're an atheist or whatever, your higher power, be at that every Sunday. We're all supposed to have our Bible study every Saturday. Family is supposed to have Bible study Every Saturday, Sunday, that man is supposed to make sure we're at church every freaking Sunday. As Pastor R.C. Blake is, he will testify and support me on that. We're not going to be able to hear his full um sermon at this rate because it's limited, but I want you to hear as much of this as you can. And if you want to hear the full sermon, it's called Why a Wise Woman is Always Concerned About a Man's Money. And she's not a chicken head for that. She's not a gold digger for that. No, she's wise. She's a wise woman. Anyway, let's get back to what we can continue to listen to in terms of uh, R.C. Blake Jr.
That's my greatest joy. My wife and I spent 2 weeks in Chicago just to go and hang out with our baby girl. Well, they hung out. They ain't really involved.
All right, let's continue. I jumped a little bit ahead. Like I said, you can always go back and listen to the full sermon. Why a wise woman is always concerned about a man's money.
A masculine man will insist on providing. Now, when we use that terminology, masculine versus feminine, I'm not talking about a man that walking around like, no, I'm not talking about it. Because you got a whole lot of dudes that are macho that are not masculine. See, masculine is a mindset and it's an approach to life and relationships that a grown man has, that he understands there's certain things that are his responsibility. And one of the fundamental tenets of masculinity is the drive to provide. So when you hear me say, that a woman is masculinized, I'm not meaning she's not feminine or dainty. No, that's not what I mean at all. I mean that she's taken on the mindset that I'm the provider. I'm the one that's going to make it happen. I'm going to get it done. I'm the breadwinner. I'm the go-getter, when that's supposed to be the man's role.
Thank you.
At least he's supposed to lead in that respect, even if he has a woman who has those same strengths, and there's nothing wrong with having those strengths. But a wise woman always considers the money, because a masculine man will always insist on providing. And watch this. You are not going to, I'm sorry, I hate to tell you this, but you are not going to be attracted long term to a feminine man, a man, in other words, that wants to be kept, a man that wants to be cherished, a man that wants you to do everything, a man that can't make a decision, a man that's too lazy to get a job. You're not going to be attracted to that long. It may be cute now to see him with his little curly hair and his little, whatever he put in his hair, the baby oil and all that. He got his little body all shiny and everything, but don't have no money, don't have no job. See, that's cute at 25. That gets a little less cute around 35. At 40, it's just unbearable. You're going to have a masculine man. And when you pay attention to a man's relationship to work and a man's relationship with money, it tells you a lot about if this is a masculine or feminine man. Any man that's satisfied being a low earner when he can be a high earner, any man that's satisfied letting his woman go out and meet all of the challenges in life and letting his woman be the one to conquer every mountain, he's not masculine, he's feminine. He's going to end up feeling like a girlfriend to you.